For me, this is inspiring worship guitar tone. I'm a tube amp guy through and through, just tube amp combo units I've used since the 70s. So transitioning to silent stage use for church and for other small venues, a big learning curve for me. But this Tone King Imperial Preamp is incredible. This rig, it really is inspiring for me to play all kinds of different styles of music. You know, there's two separate channels, a lead and rhythm. You can tailor those to what you need. An effects loop, which I have the H90, the timeline, and the Big Sky in the effects loop of this unit. And everything else is in the front, going through a buffered interface first to keep the tone where it needs to be. So here's the clean channel all by itself. You see I have a pretty good volume drop there because I push it with some other pedals, which I'll show you in a second. But then the lead channel, they're similar, but there's definitely a mid boost in this channel that I really love. But so useful. This is, and you know, obviously it has its own reverb on there. And I use that, and I'll show you how I use it in a second here. But if we hold that, it goes off. But if we just do a quick tap, you get the tremolo, stereo tremolo. And it does pan. This is outputs of, you know, stereo outs, which right now I'm just recording with the stereo outs, but you can go front of house. And I want to tell you, our sound guy noticed this right away, how clean and clear my tone was. Quiet, the effects just bloom right through your tone. And it doesn't, and I'll demonstrate that, but it doesn't wash everything away. This unit is incredible. I'm looking to be inspired when I plug into something, and I am excited about this pedal. You know, for my church worship services, this has been, I just started using it a few weeks back. And it's a big transition, like I said, but this thing sounds incredible and takes these pedals in the front of it and also in the effects loop. You can run a huge rig through this little unit here, and it just sounds awesome. So for me, I'm an always on pedal guy for a couple reasons. I like to get a core tone that I can use and just maybe add and subtract to that. So for the compressor, really sounds great, but I also push it. I push into the compressor with a bunch of clean tone. Then it has so much dynamic range with your volume and your pick dynamics when you do it this way, because you're hitting the front of this unit pretty hard. We put a little reverb and delay in there. Like I said, it takes these pedals, you know, this J-Rocket Audio Archers, one of my favorites. And this Keeley pedal is this, what is it, MK3 driver, I believe it's called. So with it off, but I always keep the compressor and this Duke of Tone on there, but then I'll add this drive pedal. Even with all that drive and that hitting the front of that, there's so much clarity. You can still hear the effects. I haven't been this excited about a pedal in a long time, and it's really inspired my worship guitar playing. It feels good. So this is what I usually use for my core tone. They call it lead channel, but I have it pretty clean. Because the clean channel on here is a little too stale for me, I guess I should say. But there's times I use it because you want that more pristine clean. It's definitely a lot more usable for me in this lead channel setting. I kind of just threw this board together recently so I could really use this pedal right away. So excuse the messiness of this, but this is just got me excited. You probably can tell. So much clarity. And I recently went to these instead of an expression pedal. You can just have two different settings. Like that was pretty hot with the delay, but now I just knocked it down a little bit if you want a little less for a different part. Man, it just again, inspiring is the word that keeps coming to mind, because I have access to the stuff at my feet instantly, getting a clean or dirty sound, but it's all usable. And I use my volume, especially on the Stratocaster, on the neck position, I can get a really clear sound. And then going to the bridge pickup. And this Tone King Imperial Preamp pedal is gig ready. I mean, you don't necessarily need all this stuff because you can push this thing into overdrive and clean all on its own. But where it really shines for me is being able just to put a few pedals in the front to kind of shape your tone, and having these effects clearly push through the effects loop, which is, you can turn that off and on, but when I do that, you hear no difference in the tone. That's important to me, to have a lot of different sounds at your feet, but not really messing with the overall tone that you want, the feel, which is why I always use tube amps. And, using different units like this Waza tube amp expander. I did a video recently on this, and then I always used tube amps, but it was so much gear to take to church or a small gig. So that's why I was so excited for this Tone King preamp pedal. This is incredible. It has tubes in it, so it has that tube kind of feel. There could be a little bit that's missing compared to a cranked up tube amp, but the versatility of this, there's no comparison. I mean, I have most of the feel and the sound that I want in this pedal, but I can run unlimited effects and drive pedals in the front of this thing. It just is really incredible. So this is just a glimpse of this Tone King Imperial Preamp pedal. I use it for my worship guitar tone all the time now. I'm going to start using it every week. My sound guy was happy about it. Right as soon as I plugged it in, and stereo outputs, he's got some really control over what's going on left and right. But even just the reverbs and the delay, even in subtle settings, just have this widening to them. Another thing that I really like about it is you look down at the pedal, you see the settings. I'm an old school guy. I like to look down and see some of these settings. That's why I don't always like using a switcher and in other devices, that you have to go in menus and mess around with stuff. This one's a little complicated, but I still have access to the parameters pretty easily. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out with me. This is how I approach getting my worship guitar tone, with just a clean amp that's just on the edge of breakup, and most players will do the same. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and remember, God is good.